So we've gone over line 1 and 2 gear in a lot of detail. And generally, your line 1 and 2 gear is going to be kind of the same for whatever you're doing. Line 3 gear is where you get a lot more variety. Your line 3 is essentially your sustainment stuff. This is what allows you to continue, for airsofters, playing for a longer period of time in the field without needing to go back to the staging area and get water or whatever. And this will vary a lot depending on what you're doing. Like, for the average short game, a bottle of water might be fine for your gear. You know, if you're only going to be playing for 15 minutes and then you go back to the staging area to refill your mags, that's really all you need. You don't need a giant rucksack. You don't need an Alice pack or a Molly 2 ruck or whatever else if that's all you're doing is just playing a short game. And not to mention, since line 3 gear very quickly gets very, very heavy, you don't want to carry more than you really need to. And even if you want to call it training or something like that, when you start running around with a huge amount of weight, you're wearing down your knees. Yes, you'll see guys in the military doing it. On the other hand, most of those infantry guys are medically retired by age 30 on disability because they have paratrooper knees. So you really don't want to abuse your body if you don't have to with the heavy stuff. So for your line 3, you kind of want to figure out what you're going to be doing, all of the stuff you will need, and then buy a pack to put all of that stuff into. If you just buy a pack first, you'll probably end up carrying too much stuff because you're just going to stuff stuff in there until the pack's full. And honestly, my day hiking pack is probably like that, and I need to ditch stuff. So you kind of want to plan out what you're doing, figure out what you're going to need to sustain yourself for that amount of time that you'll be doing it, and then buy an appropriate pack. Like, as I said, for a regular game, you can probably shove a water bottle in a mag pouch and you're fine. If you're going to be playing all day, you're going to want something, well, let's just go look at the packs. So if you're going to be playing all day, or in my case, day hiking, you're probably going to want to pack more like this. And I've got a full video on this pack later. It's a 10-liter backpack. If I put it on the side, you can see something like this. I can carry a spare set of clothes. I could carry some food, BBs, rain gear. I've got a poncho down in the bottom of this. And you can see by the hose coming off here, it's got 3 liters of water. That's perfectly fine if I'm just going to be playing like a scenario game that goes all day long. Now, if you're going to be going for overnight or potentially multiple days, you're going to want to carry more stuff. And this is a case, really what you're doing defines how much you need to carry. And you really don't want to be carrying this more than you have to, because and this pack's loaded up. And that weighs about 40 pounds. When you start looking at these packs, you'll see these advertised a lot based on the capacity. And I've got 3 packs that you can easily see there. In the middle, that is a, I believe, 35-liter pack with a couple extra pouches on it, so it's up to about 50 liters. That's a commercial 50-liter pack. This is actually my favorite for overnight anything. This is my favorite pack for that. And then I've got over there is a 90-liter pack that's even bigger. Now, it's worth mentioning that these 2 kind of greenish packs are produced by Kelty. Kelty redoes their backpacks every 2 years or so. So these 2 packs are actually about 3 or 4 generations older than what's currently on the market. So I may not dive into those in too much detail. But one thing you want to keep in mind is if you're getting a military type pack, it will be heavier. Like this pack in the middle, just completely empty, is going to weigh about 6 pounds. The Red Wing 50-liter pack, the Kelty next to it, empty is going to weigh about 4 pounds. And then if we go over here, this is a 90-liter, I can't remember what Kelty calls their 90-liter packs, but it's a 90-liter pack. So we're talking almost twice the capacity, and that's about 6 pounds, 5 to 6. So you want to keep in mind when you're looking at these, the commercial stuff really isn't a bad option for a lot of people. Just, it's so much lighter. And if you're looking for a Kelty, honestly, now in Q1 2023, it's probably a good time to buy them because they've got some good colors. They tend to change the colors with every generation. So the newer stuff you can't get in this kind of aquamarine blue. And odds are for most people, you're going to end up with multiple different Line 3 systems. So you'll probably end up with what you carry for a regular day of airsoft or hiking in the woods for a day. You'll probably have a different setup you'll use for all-day type scenario games, like AMS or some of the stuff they run up at Temple Airsoft. And then you'll end up with a completely different setup for overnight trips, backpacking, things like Milsim West. But that's it for now. Just a quick overview of Line 3 gear. There'll be future videos that go into all of these packs in much more detail.